Hello, 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 and welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are on the planet. My name is Anthony Carter. I'm the host, producer, creative genius, madman, and brilliant mind behind a movement entitled That Plant Life, a movement dedicated to supporting Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to combating hypertension without the use of medication and the addition of a whole food plant based lifestyle. Let me say that one more time for the cheap seats in the back. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are on the planet. My name is Anthony Carter. I'm the host, producer, creative genius, madman, and brilliant mind behind a movement entitled That Plant Life, a movement dedicated to supporting Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to combating hypertension without the use of medication and the addition of a whole food plant based lifestyle. Come on in, welcome, happy Tuesday. I have what I believe is some really great, juicy stuff for you tonight. I know I say that a lot, but tonight I'm really got some great stuff for you. I'm going to talk about something that I have not talked about before. So I'm going to jump right in. The title of tonight's chat is From Sleepless Nights to Healthy Days: How Prioritizing Sleep Helped Me Combat Hypertension. Let me say that one more time. From Sleepless Nights to Healthy Days: How Prioritizing Sleep Helped Me Combat Hypertension. All right, I'm going to hop right in. Um, about 7, 8 years ago, I found myself up at 3 or 4 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep, exhausted, and dealing with fatigue, stress, and poor health. Right? I'd gone to the doctor, and I hadn't gone to the doctor yet, so I didn't know what was going on. But that's what I was dealing with. Had no idea why, had no idea how to make it stop, had no idea how to make it go away. Now, my question to you, and something I came across very recently on this health journey, is what if the secret to better health was not pills, potions, medications, but actually something as simple as SLEEP? Yep, I said it. Good old fashioned sleep. Now, most of us don't get nearly enough sleep. I'm only now recognizing the power of sleep and why it's important and why I prioritize it. I, like most Americans, probably a fair amount of American men and anybody who's up and working, we power through. We don't get enough sleep. We go to work anyway, and we, start pounding the coffee from the time we get up. So, but we by the end of the day, we've gone through a pot of coffee and perhaps a box of donuts in order to get that sugar rush, you go at the caffeine rush to power through the day. Folks, that is not the way to do it. And I believe there's a different way to do it and a different way to handle things. Did you also know that um, 20% of, let me take that back. Let me think about that for a moment. If you are lacking in sleep, you're 20% more likely to have hypertension. And that's because you're up all night, you're not resting, you're not taking care of yourself, right? Your body needs to rest, it needs to recuperate, it needs to rebuild. It does that when it's sleep, when you are resting. If you are not sleeping, you will not get the body you need to do what it is that you need to do. Okay. So let me start with that. Let me quickly add that, like most folks, when I was unhealthy, when I was not sleeping through the night, I was waking up every couple of hours. I was sleeping in fits and starts. And by the way, sleep and rest or quality sleep are two different things. Sleeping in the chair, dozing off in front of Netflix at night after work is not sleeping. That's just kind of dozing. I'm talking about the kind of sleep where you go to bed, you rest, you darken the room, maybe you make the room cold, you make it so that you can sleep peacefully and undisturbed. That's what needs to happen. Now, um, what I did, right, when I found out that what was going on with me um, was not normal, was not okay. Let me pick that back. It was not okay with me. Lots of people told me that it was normal. Once I went to the doctor, had my blood pressure checked, found out it was 145 over 95, and that I was dangerously close to stroke category and was dancing around stroke category, and it was up to me to do something different. I looked at every aspect of my life, right? Of course, I went to a vegan diet after some deliberation and trying to do it my way. I did go to a vegan diet. I went to a whole food plant based diet, eliminated all salt, eliminated oil and sugar for a period of about 3.5 months. Felt wonderful. Part of that, when that happened, then my sleep started to change a bit. And I realized maybe I should be sleeping differently. Maybe there is a different way to do this, right? I started doing some research and found some very interesting facts about sleep. Now, one of the things that happens when you don't sleep, usually we're not sleeping because we've got some stress, and we're stressed about either one of a couple of things. Either something that's happened in the past, which is something we can't do anything about. Those are the things we lay up at night and we have the conversations about what we should have said, what we should have done, what we should not have said, what we should not have done, what somebody else should have said, what they should have done, what somebody else should not have said, had no business saying, and maybe had no business doing. So we have a couple of places our minds go when we're up late at night tossing and turning. One of them is looking in the back, stressing ourselves out about things that have happened in the past that we can't do anything about. But we're rolling around in our heads, rolling it around, rolling around. What if, what if, what if? The other favorite pastime for many of us, and I fall into this category too every now and again. I've arrested it for the most part, but I fall into the category too, like many of you, of worrying about the what ifs of the future. What if this happens? What if this doesn't happen? What if I lose my job? What if I get sick? What if somebody in my family gets sick? What if we run out of money? What if the company closes? What if the government shuts down? What will happen if I can't get to the market to get vegetables? What if, what if, what if, what if? Constantly, constantly worrying about the future, right? No way to live. But there is a better way, right? And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But before I get to that, when you are in those two extremes, the past, when we're rehearsing the past, which many times leads to depression, or we're worried about the future, which many times results in anxiety, what that does is shoots cortisol through your body constantly. Just so you know a little something about our cortisol friend, I am a science geek at heart, and many years ago I wanted to be a biologist and be a doctor, but that's a whole different conversation and a whole different topic. However, our little friend cortisol, you need it, right? You need it in your body. It ignites when you have the fight, flight, or freeze instinct, right? It's something that we developed as humans many, many, many years ago when we were running from saber-toothed tigers and earthquakes and that type of thing. Well, now, as many of you know, no matter where you live on the planet, we are no longer running from saber-toothed tigers. Now we have the same reaction to the boss calling. We have the same reaction to the phone ringing at some ungodly hour. We have the same reaction when we get the call from our doctor saying we want to come in and run some tests just to be sure things are okay. Same thing runs through our veins. Same thing runs through our bodies. Our cortisol starts pumping. Now we do need it because in the event that something happens, you need it to react. You need short doses of it. We don't need a steady diet of it. A short dose of it would be something along the lines if you almost get hit by a car and you have that rush, right? Or maybe you take a tumble down some stairs and you have that rush. Or maybe you're walking somewhere it's late at night and you hear footsteps behind you, right? And you freeze, or you do something to prepare yourself because you don't know what this is going to lead to, or who it is, or what they want, and that type of thing. Cortisol rushes, right? Those are good. They're good in small doses. Most of us, if we're up late at night and not sleeping, the cortisol is pumping through the veins constantly. We do not need a steady diet of it, right? It causes the pressure to go up. It causes all kinds of health issues. So we do not want that pumping through the body all day, every day, 24/7. Not a good thing to do. So let me see if I can give you some tips, some help, which I believe I can, on how to snatch back your sleeping. One of the things you can do is make a point of going to bed at the same time every night. Many of us, myself included, have the habit of going to bed at a certain time Monday through Friday because that's when I work, and that's when a lot of us work. But Friday night, Saturday is woo, it's party time, right? We go to bed whenever we go to bed. I actually have a habit which I have broken, and it comes back every now and again where I fall asleep Friday night and I wake up at 11:18. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that I don't know if that's code for something. I don't know if that's when the gods come a calling. I have no idea. But for some reason, I tend to doze off on Friday nights and wake up at 11:18. However, this past Friday, I went to bed at 9:30. Very happy about that. Ready to face the day when Saturday rolled around. That's one thing you can do. Something else you can do. Cut out the caffeine, right? Do not drink the caffeine beyond one or two, or if at all possible, maybe not have it at all. It does stay in your body for a very long time. So if you are drinking 3, 4, 5 cups, many of us get that third or fourth cup about the 2 p.m., 3 p.m. time, the dropsies, as we call them, right when you're like, okay, I've been at work for a while. I need that push. I need that, gut punch, that kick in the butt. We go for that third or fourth cup of coffee. That's what could possibly be keeping you up at night and causing you not to fall asleep. Here's another thing you can try. Maybe keep a journal by your bed. And if there's something you're worried or concerned about, write it down. Write down things you can do about it, and then let it go. I'm reading a great book now called uh, not Mental Courage. It's called Emotional. What's it called? Sorry, it's been a late day, folks. I think it's called Emotional Maturity, but it's all about emotional maturity, right? And the author talks about in the book how, we worry about things, right? And you can put things in a couple of different categories: things you can control, things you can somewhat control, and things you have absolutely no control over. So things I can control: when I go to bed, when I get up; things I have somewhat control over, whether or not my neighbors are quiet enough for me to sleep, right? I have somewhat control over that, maybe, depending how you want to look at it. Things I can absolutely not control: the traffic jams, right? Going back and forth to work. There's always a traffic jam, right? I'm here in Connecticut. We only have 2 or 3 lanes, and I'm used to driving in LA. But we need to have a traffic jam every day when I'm going to work and every day when I'm coming home. Now, I could get stressed out about that, right? I can't control that, right? That's not something I want to ruminate on when I'm at home trying to go to sleep. So keep those things in mind. I'm going to get out of here now. Hopefully you've picked up something, that sleep is super, super important. And I'm actually going to do a series on sleep. I'm thinking about coming back the next week or two and talking about it more in depth and more from a scientific point of view, because I'm very fascinated with the power of sleep and its ability to have us rejuvenate our thinking, rejuvenate our bodies, repair our bodies. I didn't know it was this important until very, very, I would say until this year, right? Um, Part of getting older. So there you have it. Okay. I'm going to get out of here now. And do yourself a favor, go to Selful Organics, get yourself some of that wonderful juice. Mr. Alton Weeks has a great cold juice press company out of Harlem in New York City. He's a wonderful guy. He has a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful story to tell. I always want to tell his story because it's so unbelievable. He lost 100 pounds. He got himself off of seven, yes, seven, I said seven medications using fruits, plants, juices, that type of thing. And he was able to do that. So he has a wonderful story. He is now using his platform to help other people get healthy, to help other people get off medication, to help other people fight, chronic illnesses. So it can be done. I'm going to get out of here now. My name is Anthony Carter. I'm the host, producer, creative genius, madman, and brilliant mind behind a movement entitled That Plant Life, a movement dedicated to supporting Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to combating hypertension without the use of medication and the addition of a whole food plant based lifestyle. Let me say that one more time for the cheap seats in the back. My name is Anthony Carter. I am the host, producer, creative genius, madman, and brilliant mind behind a movement entitled That Plant Life, a movement dedicated to supporting Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to combating hypertension without the use of medication and the addition of a whole food plant based lifestyle. Now, if you like to work with me and hear more about sleep and how more about my commitment to having people get more of the sleep they need, and eat the foods that will help them be healthy and have the lives they want, the lifestyles they want, and to create lives with their health as an asset and not a liability. By all means, click on the link above, the Calendly link, and let's see if we're matched. I am offering five, yes, five cinco free classes for Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to turning their health around and making their health an asset, and not a liability. If you know someone, or if that someone is you, by all means, reach out and let me know you are interested. Okay, I'm going to get out of here now. Before I go, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, let your loved ones take care of you, get some plants on that plate, and most importantly, eat like you got good sense. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.